evening, Leroy. Welcome to another edition of the show. I feel like I need to. So on my Bengals podcast the other day, I opened up and I said, "Thank you for joining us from the Pressbox." And so I feel like I should say, "Hey, Leroy, welcome to Jungle Juice." So now I'm like,
you're all flipped over.
I'm equally awful on both sides. And you know what? To those of you who've been complaining about us being late, Leroy and I were ready to go, but then we got the complaining messages, so we specifically said we're waiting a couple of extra minutes. Because all of you, my goodness, you know what, Leroy?
No, we're just going to go 3 minutes longer just to punish you, Sarah.
I don't even know that we should do that. Maybe we should go 3 minutes less now. Let's be real. We never have any semblance of plans as to how long this is going to go. Oh, look who finally decides to show up. I mean, he's only been gone for the past, what, like
a month and a half?
Yeah, he's been, gosh, I guess we're finally willing enough to have his time or something. But that shirt looks ridiculous, says Paul.
Great. Good thing I give a crap about your opinion.
Yeah. Careful. This is a family show. I now feel like I should put on my...
This is actually game worn. This is game worn. This is not game worn. This is
Muggsy Bogues?
Practice worn.
What player could like the coach's son or something?
No, I'm telling you, this is an actual practice worn jersey.
Do you know whose it was?
Yeah, hold on. I forget what the dude's name is. Hold on. I can tell you.
He clearly has made a big impact on your life. So it
was just what. Stop it. You know better.
Yeah, Sarah has a genuine question that I feel like the people are wanting to know the answer for, Leroy.
What's that?
I'm just going to let you read it.
No, it's not even that, like...
Here, do I need to go full screen? Here, wait, let me go full screen. Give us a spin.
I can't even, I'm too short to, even show it on the damn... Hold on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. At least we know you are wearing pants. That is...
Well, yeah, but, You know what, y'all are something else. That's all I'm going to say on that topic.
Sarah says she doesn't want you to wear it, but I am finally right. I like it. If I would have known we were wearing our basketball jerseys, I think I have a UK one hanging in my closet that I would have put on as well to fit in because the Cats are rolling really well. Coming up on the show, though, today, we'll talk a little baseball. Leroy's got his tidbits or something that I don't know anything about. We're going to talk about some big college basketball news that happened over the weekend. Play clock, drivers, logos. I have a proposal for Leroy about something that I'm missing that he knows nothing about, and so we can peer pressure him into agreeing to it. But I feel like it's something that he actually might enjoy, and I probably will not enjoy. So that's something that we can talk about as the show goes along as well. But Leroy, last week you opened up the show with depression, so I have to open up the show with depression today.
Yep, I know it. It sucks, don't it? It sucks big time.
The Cougs lost, Leroy. The Lady Cougs are still rolling. They still have at least 2 games left, but the Cougs lost to Edmonson County last night at home in the playoffs, and it was brutal. Brutal, Leroy.
By the way, the guy that owned this jersey was 6'7". His name was AJ Turner.
There is no way in hell that guy that jersey almost fits you.
Yeah. He weighed less than I do, so I get it.
I don't even know how to say it. But yes, Grayson County lost. And Leroy, you talked about it last week, and I think you probably are in the same realm as well. As it's weird for us to kind of be like, I don't even know if disappointed is the right word, but it's more just
attached. I'm too attached.
Yeah, because I think you feel for the ones who are in it every single week and so on, and you're not part of the team. I don't feel that way by any means. I'm not a coach. But you're a fan in a different light, and it was a little sad last night. That wasn't very nice, Leroy. That was not very nice. Paul's High School lost 76-74 in the Final Four tonight. That's tough. So the Lady Cougs tomorrow play for the district championship against Butler County. But Leroy,
the team that beat Taylorville is also the team. Now they're in the Final Four, And it's like, I don't even know, like that should absolutely be us. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Even though there's no way to prove it, that should absolutely be us in the Final Four, darn it. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with it completely. It's just really disappointing. Leroy, I did kind of, I don't know if I in fact, I can't even say I got myself in trouble, but I told a joke that upset the other fan bases, which honestly makes me. So how they do the district tournaments is we have our 4 teams in our district, and 2 of which are big rivals. One of them is not really a rival. They're just kind of there. And Grayson County, the girls were playing that school that's not really the rival, but the 2 rivals were playing against one another after us.
Yeah.
And it's funny because at one point the gym started to fill up, and my color analyst made a point. He says, "Oh wow, it's starting to get a lot of red and blue in here." Said a lot of Edmonton and Butler County fans, and I just looked over at him and said, "Is that what that smell is?"
Oh,
and then I said, but see, the funny thing is my color analyst is from one of those schools, so it was more a shot at him. And one of the other fan bases was like, "Oh, how rude of you." And I'm like, clearly, and I mean, I said it like tongue in cheek the entire time. And she was back the next night watching us again. But
you of all people should know better. You preach all the, you gotta be careful with what you say on the radio. You gotta sit there and be like, ah.
As I said, was I wrong? And the answer was no. No, I doubled down. And after the game, I said, you know what? I know somebody from that county right now. I said, if you want me, I'll text him and tell him he smells right now. And I didn't end up doing that, but I will if I absolutely have to. But it was disappointing to see that the Cougs lost last night. Lady Cougs still have at least 2 more games left. They'll play tomorrow night against Butler County, and then they will play Monday or Tuesday at the famous Owensboro Sports Center. But there you go. That's kind of the high school basketball, because you're done with basketball, right?
I am. The UIS is on the road for the rest of the year, and Taylorville girls and boys are both done. We have to go to their banquets at the end of the year and present the player of the year.
Interesting.
And then,
I've only been invited.
It's all sponsorship stuff.
I've only been invited to the banquet once of all of the teams that I've broadcast for. And it was kind of awkward because my thing is since I'm not from here, and Leroy, I guess it's a little different for you because you have a family and you have kids in the schools and so on. But for me, like, I go home and I don't see these people again until the next game. So it was really awkward for me because I'd go and I'd sit at this table with a bunch of parents, and it was almost like I needed to go around and be like, okay, tell me who your kid is, because I don't know you. Like, I know some of you, but I don't know who all of you are. And I'm sure you still have some of that.
Oh my gosh, the parents all know me. Hey, Leroy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Leroy.
Oh yeah, same thing.
And I'm like, hey, I have no idea who you are, but hey. And then the girl, their kid will go up to them and be like, hey, mom. I'll be like, oh, okay, yes. I see it now.
My favorite is always, didn't my boy play really good tonight?
Yes.
Great.
100%.
Fantastic.
They couldn't have won without you.
Yeah. I mean, that one play, the one I'm talking about, did a great job. I know that they had, since it's the postseason, we get a hospitality room for media, which is very nice. So we get fed, and it's there aren't any perks of the job, Leroy, but the food, when it comes, is usually a perk. You know it. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's something to look forward to.
We had Chinese food for the hospitality room over when we were in the tournament. That was pretty darn good, man.
Yeah, see, last night, I mean, it's never, I mean, occasionally they'll go all out, but last night was just chicken fingers, and the people running it were like, sorry, it's not more. I was like, listen, I said, I am not one to complain. I said, it is free chicken fingers.
Free chicken.
But one of the moms that was
and it can't be any worse than Vanderbilt, right? It can't be any worse than
I still get mad about that every single time Vanderbilt. I think we've told that story on this show before, haven't we?
Yeah, but
If not, we can tell the game.
worth the 30-second recap. So Sam and I covered Vanderbilt playing Western Kentucky when we were both in school together, and we got the lanyards with our like press pass on there. And when we went up there, they had Chick-fil-A that was there for everyone, but they were punching your card to make sure you only got one, and they were absolutely strict by that rule too, man. Like you get one of this, one of that, and one of this.
It was
and that's
one chicken biscuit or 2 chicken minis. I remember I went up there and because at most media it's a buffet, and I know this comes off as super snooty, and I know that. Can you believe it? They took away our free food and limited
Chick-fil-A,
yes.
Sam.
But I'm like, I am a broke college student. 2 chicken minis, Paul. Yeah, I don't know if you know what those are, like the little like bite-sized little ones. I was like
White Castle, White Castle chicken.
Not even that. I mean, it's even smaller than White Castle. Yeah, it's like a Tic Tac. I was like 2. I said I need at least like 12 of those. And it wasn't even like one of those things that once everybody went through, they're like, okay, you can come through for seconds. Nope. You had to get your thing hole punched. And I probably got my hole punched. Maybe I'll try to find that next week and find my hole punch tag to bring it. Because I've kept them all. I've got a shoebox filled with all my media passes just because I think it's kind of fun to go back and look at it. But speaking of college basketball, Leroy, there was some controversy over the weekend surrounding Wake Forest and Duke. And it's, for one, I went to the Kentucky game on Saturday. It was the first time I got to go to Rupp Arena in a couple of years. That was awesome. Got to go with my dad. Hadn't been there in a while. Kentucky played amazing. They played Alabama. So it was a top 25 matchup, and Kentucky was up by 40 at one point in the second half, ended up winning by 24 or something. It was great. A lot of fun. But at halftime, I was checking my phone because the Duke-Wake Forest game was the game prior. So like we had watched a little bit of it, but couldn't figure out. We just saw that they had won, or that they had lost rather. And then we saw that Pawski, their best player, had gotten hurt during the quote-unquote court storming. So all of a sudden, court storming's blowing through. So, Leroy, I'm just going to leave it up to you. Because and again, this is not coming up, my team, Kentucky, would never court storm anybody. More so just based on the...
we can't even ask for anything.
But let me say, as... They get court stormed on, though, a lot. Northwestern, though, on the other side, is a team that would court storm somebody. In fact, they probably did this year when they beat Purdue, correct?
Correct. And I'll tell you...
But Kentucky does in football. They court... In fact, there was a field storming at a game I was at, but I was in the upper deck, and by the time I got down, it's one of those things I looked, and I was like, I think I'm going to try and beat traffic.
So Matt Painter, who is the head coach for Purdue, threw a fit, actually, and called a timeout with like 1.5 seconds left and asked the ref if he could pull his players over to the side so that they wouldn't get hurt, because he knew the Northwestern fans were going to pour into the court. Referees said that was fine that they do that, but they had to stay. I forget, there was a rule like where they had to stand or something. I don't remember what it was, but
they'd have probably 5 players on the floor.
Right. And so like they would stand as close to the edge as they possibly could. The throw-in happened, and then like that was it, right? Everyone came on, and you see all the Purdue players like going like this after they try to get on. I see both sides to this. I see, but I don't know if there's an easy way to fix that unless you have security there to prevent people from going onto the court and then saying, all right, now you guys can go.
But even then, like if it is like the Wake Forest one, if there are 10,000 people running, like,
yeah,
what's you know what that security guard's going to do?
I know
enough for this.
Nope. And he doesn't. And like that's what I said. I don't know if there's an easy answer to this. Me personally, I don't have an issue with the court storming. I don't. But I'm from a smaller school that gets to do that. I could see where a school like Duke or you guys would be like, oh, absolutely
because
not. We don't.
You even saw with Caitlin Clark where she got bumped and almost trampled during that moment with him. And I'm not against the let him storm, because I do know that Cameron Mills, who is a former UK player, he tweeted and he's against it because he was on a team that got court stormed against and they almost got trampled
Yeah.
So, and I understand having that mentality. And his idea is that if it happens, so let's just say Northwestern is playing Purdue again tomorrow, just as an example.
Yep.
I know that it's already happened. Northwestern beats Purdue. They court storm. His idea is that then Northwestern automatically forfeits the game because that's one way to stop it.
Yep.
You can answer that? Who's calling your radio station at 9:30 at night?
Calling our radio station at 9:20 at night. And what's irritating is I might have to go answer it because our phones get weird sometimes where it'll ring and nobody's there, but it won't like disengage the ring. So
do you not have an answering machine?
Oh, yeah. You can talk.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I think you should bring the person on the show. I think that would be much more exciting. But I think with the whole court storming thing, it's interesting. And I'm curious for you watching too is, do you think the court storming should be a thing? Because I think there are good moments, and there's nothing cooler than that wide shot of like you saw for the Wake Forest thing where they all stormed in, everybody was partying on the floor. But, and I want to bring this back up of when Leroy gets back, it was funny that last night, you are right, Tyler. Big market money for an answering machine. Yeah, we don't have those in the small markets. Were they okay?
There's nobody there. I told you there was nobody. It just rings and rings, and it's so stupid, man.
Did you just ask what their favorite color is? Hey, buddy, the elf, what's favorite color?
I picked up the phone and said Hugh Hefner's Playboy House, and nobody answered. Ooh, I like that one. I should have used that one when I answered the phone.
My favorite is always, we got a phone call from somebody who had been arrested. And they go, hey, is your news director there? I said, no, he's not. I said, may I give him a message? And he goes, yes. He says, you can tell him to suck my... I was like...
Hey, I've gotten that message before.
I'm like, well, okay, I'll do that. And it's funny, he was actually in the other room. So I walked in there and he said, hey, remember that guy that got arrested last night? He goes, yeah. I said, well, he says, suck my... He goes, next time, tell him no, thank you. But what I was bringing up to you is last night at the, Sarah, no, this is a children's show. It's a children's show. We don't, family show. We don't say those kind of words on this podcast.
I do.
Even though Leroy almost let one slip earlier, but he was good and he saved it. But last night at the Kentucky game, it was really funny. Kentucky was down 4 with about 2 minutes left, I think is when it was. Mississippi State put a message up on the scoreboard that said, please do not storm the court after the game, or please do the da-da-da-da-da. And then Kentucky won the game. So now it's kind of one of these things that it's like, for one, was Kentucky looking at the scoreboard then? Probably not. Probably not. But at the same time, if you happened to be looking at the scoreboard, wouldn't that kind of rally up a little bit thinking, hey, these guys think they're going to win?
Yeah. Although in my experience with college basketball, I don't care if it's a 15-point lead. It's not safe.
No. And I think overall the court stormings, like, it's fun until someone gets hurt.
Yep.
And I was worried that when Filipowski went down, he played today. So luckily he's okay. But what would have happened if him? Because, I mean, listen, if we're being honest, where does he play? Duke, one of the top premier programs. Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, Kansas. One of those top programs.
I'm really proud of you for calling Duke an elite pro. I know that had to be tough for you.
I mean, it happened to one of those elite programs players.
And
if he would have torn his ACL.
If Zach Edey gets hurt, that's a big deal.
Can somebody even push him down? Like, he's so big.
Massive. Did you ever see? There's a picture of him where he tried to take in I forget what sporting event. Oh, he was at the Indiana Pacers game, and he shows up wearing black sunglasses and a crooked Purdue, or it wasn't even a Purdue hat. It was like a Under Armour hat. And it was
he's trying to hide.
Right, like Zach, you're not hiding from anybody, dude. You're like 7'2", man. Like, stop it. Like, who are you
Yeah,
gonna
if
hide?
somebody 7'2" walks in, you're kind of like,
Who are you gonna hide from?
who are you? Who are you? I know, I guess it was yesterday or the day before, Leroy.
Yeah.
Reds finally didn't win a spring training game. They didn't lose it either.
Y'all have been pretty cocky the last couple of weeks. Y'all have been pretty cocky.
But the team was a tie against the Cubs 6-6, which I always just find hilarious. Ties in spring training, I think, should be a thing because there's no point going in extra innings when it comes to spring training. If anything, I think they should do it like a home run derby or something. Because I mean, listen, why not? Like, it's not like those results have any fun at all. Well, but how closely do you really follow spring training?
I don't, other than keeping an eye on some of the lesser arms. If I know that one of my guys is pitching, I might check the box score to see, like, hey, how did he do today? You know, was he on? Was he not on? But otherwise than that, I really don't care. Now, I will say, if you're interested, Baseball Reference everyone's been talking today on the internet about Will Ferrell's baseball experience. Mm-hmm. Will Ferrell played, what was it, a couple of years ago, where he played for almost like 12 spring training teams
in like 3 days.
Like, he had his whole acquisitions on the bottom, and like traded to the Chicago Cubs for a washing machine or something like that. So if you want a good laugh, go check out Will Ferrell's Baseball Reference page.
Well, he was signed for the Reds, and Norm Macdonald was designated for assignment.
Right. That's the only time I really pay attention to spring training. Is baseball is probably one of the only sports where you can do that, where you can be a celebrity and play. I know I've seen some celebrities like warm up with some of the basketball teams, but I don't think there's another sport where, I mean, Justin Bieber played for in the All-Star, like warmed up with the All-Star team in hockey, but
they do the celebrity game for like
in basketball
at the All-Star game. They do the celebrity game that I don't think anybody really watched. It's just like the celebrity softball game before the All-Star game.
Right. But I like that. I think that baseball is one of the cool sports that gets to do that. If you want to go out there and put on a uniform, you absolutely, go put them out in like left field, and
There's nothing I enjoy more though about spring training, and you kind of made a joke about it, is the people that overreact to everything.
Oh my gosh.
And it is like both sides. It'd be like, oh my goodness, Cody Bellinger went 0 for 2. He's washed up. He's done.
Well, Ohtani hit a home run in his first at bat, and everybody was all like, "Oh, that's it. That's it. Dodgers are going to win the World Series."
It's just always funny to me. It's both sides. Because, I mean, like most of these, like you hear these guys, like I was listening to an interview with one of the Reds. I think it was with TJ Friedel. And the Reds play-by-play guy, Tommy Thrall, asked him, said, hey, now that you know you are the starting center fielder for the Reds, will you go into a spring training game and say, hey, I want to practice hitting with 2 strikes? So you'll maybe let your count get to 2 strikes so you can practice fouling off pitches in a real game scenario. And he said, yeah, kind of you do that. So that's why I don't read anything into spring training at all. That is the falsest thing that has ever been said in the history of this podcast, John.
Well, I tell you what, like, he played for the Cubs and now he plays for the Padres. I can't think of his name. The pitcher.
Yu Darvish?
Yeah, Yu Darvish, right? Yu Darvish had a game in spring training where he gave up like 8 home runs and like 12 hits in like 3 innings. And they interviewed him after the game, and they were like, dude, what happened out there? He goes, oh, I was trying a new pitch all day. He goes, I was trying a split finger, for whatever he was throwing. He goes, it didn't work. We'll just try it again.
Yeah, and that's the thing with spring training.
And literally, he was just out there throwing 1 pitch all game long, just seeing what he can do with it.
I don't read anything into it. Hockey does not compare to baseball. Baseball is so much better. Paul, back me up. Baseball blows hockey out of the water. Which one do you prefer, Leroy?
I defer not to answer the question.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't work that way. Hockey or baseball, you only get to watch one the rest of your life.
I only get to watch one the rest of my life?
Uh-huh.
Baseball, but barely.
Baseball by miles.
Yes, I know. Y'all, I know. There's nothing wrong with hockey.
Are you saying Paul Reeves is incorrect, Leroy? One of our longest listeners. I'm saying it. Wow. Apparently she's unfriending me. Joke's on you, Sarah. I'm not friends with you to begin with. Oh. You said you had tidbits, or
Yes,
I feel like we need something. We need something like Leroy's Tidbits. I don't like that name. It's got to be.
Well, what do you want? What do you want? You come up with a name for our little short. It's like literal clips, like little short snippets of information.
I'm gonna give me your first one, and while you do it, and if you have an idea in the comments, make sure to drop it. I'm going to consider and think here. I'm gonna.
All right, let's get to it. So Stacy Wakefield passed away today. Stacy Wakefield died of pancreatic cancer. She was Tim Wakefield's wife. Tim passed away from brain cancer about 5 months ago. They leave behind 2 kids. Very, very sad, and just really heartbreaking for that family. You know, you can have all the money in the world, you can have everything you want, and you know, cancer still absolutely just destroys. It's really, really sad. College basketball getting tight. A lot of races that are getting down to the nitty gritty. This happens every year, of course, but it's interesting to see, you know, in the big conferences, how tight these divisions are. There's going to be some snubs in the tournament, and there always is. But I tell you what, it's interesting to see how close a lot of these conferences really, really get. Cheech and Chong are making limited vodka bottles that turn into a bong after they're empty. Yes. Let's see, what else do we got? Heavy Justin Fields rumors today. Heavy Justin Fields rumors that he's going to Atlanta. His manager posted a video of him saying, "Oh, you're going home. How do you feel? You want to go home?" Or I don't know, something stupid like that. And he got all excited about it. So, and new NL Central Cardinals are supposed to win with the odds of 85. The over-under set at 85 wins, which I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but I really feel like if you told me that any team other than the Pirates was going to win the NL Central, I'd be like, yeah, it's probably accurate. But
so I'm interested what DraftKings says here. While you're talking, continuous on seeing, because I know I put it on here that I put some money in a parlay. I think it was Kentucky to win the NCAA tournament, Reds to win the division, and Bengals to win the Super Bowl coming up next year.
Yeah.
I'll have to see what the odds are here on futures.
All right. And so, and then I've got some racing news, but that will be for the racing segment at the end of the broadcast. So good to go with Leroy's whatever we call it.
So this one has DraftKings right now has the Cubs to win the NL Central. Cubs at plus 180, Cardinals at plus 185, Reds at plus 340, Brewers at plus 700, the Pirates at plus 1600.
Right.
So do you think that's the right order? Cubs, Cardinals, Reds, Brewers, Pirates?
I think they're I just don't trust that Cubs rotation. I mean, yeah, they got that new kid from Japan, but I don't think that there's anybody in that NL Central who blows anybody away as far as, oh my gosh, they're going to – Atlanta and LA are probably the only teams that are lock-ins for winning their division.
But
I don't see anybody else in any of the other divisions in the American League or the National League that are locks to win their division other than maybe Atlanta and Los Angeles. Do you see any –
Washington Nationals are winning the East. You heard it here. You heard it here.
Oh, there you go, Paul.
Nationals are winning the East. Let's see. It's going to be the Rockies in the West. Here's the thing. Are the Brewers closer to first or last?
Well, I see the Brewers are rebuilding, right? So if anything, they should be towards the bottom. However, we all know that that's not how that works. Wisconsin teams, just redraft and for some reason play really, really well. I see it all the time in football, right? They're supposed to be rebuilding. Then they go ahead and sneak into the playoffs and beat Dallas. So
I'm interested to see what is the odds for the wow, the Nationals are plus 10,000 to win the East.
Plus 10,000. That is fantastic.
That's almost worth. Now, see, this isn't like completely crazy. Marlins to win the World Series. Like, yeah. I don't think it's likely, but it's at least not as
young. Yeah.
Well, it's like the Reds. Yeah. Like the Reds, I feel like this year are either going to win the division or they'll be in fourth. Like, I don't know that they're a wild card team. Like, I feel like they are either going to be.
Between. They'll either do.
I don't
really
think
well
so. I think it's with the young team. It's either they're going to put it all together, and I mean they got a young rotation that if they stay healthy,
they're really cocky, man. What's his name? What's his name was like? Oh, the Cubs didn't do anything, so I don't see why we can't win this division. Yeah, okay, I get that. I get saying that, but at the same time, it's like, what did you all do?
Hey, glad to hear you're doing better. Glad to hear you're doing better.
Glad to see you here, sir. I hope you're feeling all right and resting up. Christy went to go visit him today with some of the girls and get to hang out with him. And I guess London.
Oh, sorry. Finish what you're saying.
I guess London was scared of him because he was all hooked up and everything.
I can see. Yeah, I mean that would be a little bit terrifying with it. Yes, that is his dad.
Yeah, Paul. That's my dad, who is in the hospital right now. He had a little bit of some stuff going on up here, but they got everything ticking right, and he's doing much better today. So we're all excited to have him back, and glad to have you here, Dad.
Yes, glad that you can be in there. And you know what I think he would really want, Leroy?
Oh no!
More than anything in the world. He would want me to cue the music for Leroy's Logos. Everyone's favorite segment, Leroy's Logos.
We can't be having tough ones today. I gotta look good, man.
Do you? Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it comes up with. Remember, I was nice to you last week. I ended up giving you 2 out of 4, despite you really getting 0 out of 4. But because of that, you're hitting 390 now on the season. So, Leroy, would you like door number 1, 2, or 3?
3.
Number 3.
Oh! Oh, no. Oh.
Door number 3 for Leroy to open up Leroy's Logos, where it's simple. He just has to tell me what college this logo is. Your dad is here. Don't disappoint him, Leroy. Door number 3. Leroy, what is it?
Other than Forrest, did anybody else get it right?
Why do you just assume Forrest gets it right? I mean,
are you kidding me?
Yes, somebody else did get it correct.
All right.
I'm going to tell you this. It's not John. I'm going to help you out there and say that.
I know this logo, but I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to go with East Carolina.
East Carolina. Yeah. Are you sure?
Absolutely not. But yes, that's my final answer.
East Carolina is...
Ah!
Correct. He pulls it out. So, and guess who did get it right? Mr. Paul Reeves also pulled that one out. Dan's guessing in order: South Carolina State, Orlando State, and Wyoming State. How did he know Orlando State was coming up today? Thank you. I'm glad. I hope you're doing better as well. Okay, Leroy, 1 or 2?
2.
Okay, I got to pull it up here. 2.
Oh.
2. Door number 2.
Those are some mighty nice 6-shooters you got right there, son.
Pretty good mustache too, isn't it?
That nice little twirl thing going. Ah. I will go with New Mexico State.
New Mexico State. Gosh, we've got so many comments coming in here. Are you sure?
Again, absolutely not, but that's my final answer.
That is your final answer, and that is correct. 2 out of 2 for Leroy here. Let's see here. I got to catch up here. Orlando, Forrest gets it right.
Orlando.
The Shooting Sams, the Texas Sharpshooters. I was half right with Carolina. Paul says he can't remember it. So now we hit our final one. Leroy, 2 for 2. Could he do it? Could this finally be the day
There's no
that
way
it is happening?
There's no you're gonna pull
Or
out like
Leroy.
those eight or something. Oh!
I have it too loud.
Yes.
You know it?
I'm 90% sure.
Which, if we're being honest,
Which means I'll get it wrong.
usually when you are real
I am
confident,
super confident.
you're
absolutely
almost always wrong. Okay, should we waste no more time then?
Yes,
Leroy.
It's Providence Friars.
Providence Friars. I hate to
It's
do
definitely
this to you.
Providence.
Correct. Correct. Is it the day? Leroy, what is the theme?
They're all logos with people in the logo.
That is not technically a person anymore.
That's a skull. That's absolutely a person.
That is not the theme, though. I have been saving a sound effect for Leroy for
Oh my god.
43 episodes and have never been able to use. This is the 43rd edition of Leroy's logos and have never been able to use it. Will this be the moment that Leroy can do it? Can he do it?
They're all heads in the logos. They're all.
That's not the theme, though.
That's ridiculous, Gormley.
That's not the theme. I can't give it to you. I can't.
Paul, help me out.
No, it's just you don't get to just choose your own theme.
It's not.
It's
all matched up.
Come on. Think about this. I'm going to give you, because this could be Leroy's logo's history. Think about it.
Show them again.
Providence, New Mexico State, East Carolina. No, I don't think that East Carolina one technically has eyes. No, I don't think it does have eyes. So, no.
Eye
not
sockets. Eye sockets.
Yeah. The theme is not they all have eye sockets. Sorry, Leroy. Sorry to break the news to you with that. I will say that Paul unintentionally almost guessed the theme a little bit ago. Again, one more time. Providence, New Mexico State, and East Carolina. You've been asking me to go easier on you, Leroy, so I thought I would. And why would I do that? And how could I do that?
I'm gonna go with what Sarah said and say hats. They're all wearing headpieces, headgear.
Oh, Paul is so close. I'm sorry. Paul
you're just ridiculous.
Paul is so close. Do you see his guess?
Yeah, we've had all these before and I missed them.
He's close. We've had these all before and you got them right. So those were all 3 that I've used prior, and you had gotten them right. Because you'd been complaining it had been so hard, I decided to pull 3 that surprised me that you got them right to begin with the first time, to call you on your bluff, and you got them all right again. That is the theme this week. Yeah, they had, and he got them right again, so it does work. I'm sorry. Actually, I do make the rules. So, sorry. I tried. The sound effect, then we'll have to wait until next week. Well, no, it's not, because I was nice this week.
Up, Forrest.
Forrest, tune in next week. I've been saving one. I'm no longer nice. Technically doesn't work on this game. How about a little play clock, Leroy?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Whoa, that is so big. We don't want that. Okay. Would you like to ask your answer first?
I will ask first, because you're annoying tonight. I'll go ahead and ask first.
I'm annoying? What have I done?
Langdon says ban court storming, but make an exception for when 2 clues. Langdon, it don't work that way, buddy. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I can't just let you all come up with your own themes. It doesn't work that way. Go for it.
All right, Sam, you ready?
Do you want me to give you 3.5? I'll give you 3.5, because then it gets rid of our half a point random one we had earlier. So there you go.
Oh, yeah,
so now you're hitting 401.
Now we're back to even.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
Happy now?
Who is on your Mount Rushmore of boxers?
Yes, you were, Paul. That's why I said you were close on it. Mount Rushmore of boxers? See, I'm not a boxing fan. Can I just say Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali? Because I'm a Kentuckian. That's who I have to vote for.
Can you name 4 boxers?
Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao. So I'll say him, because I left my high school, my senior prom early to watch Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Remember that big fight about 10 years ago or something? And then I'll go Mike Tyson. So how about that? In fact, it's literally the same list Langdon said.
You and Langdon are like this, man.
Yeah. Does Rocky count?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Or Apollo Creed?
I had Ali Tyson, Rocky Marciano, and Evander Holyfield. Those are my 4.
Not Mayweather?
Sugar Ray. Huh?
Mayweather?
No, Rocky Marciano. One of the greatest boxers of all time.
Didn't Mayweather never, like, in all seriousness, he's never lost, right?
Yeah, I don't believe so. No, I don't believe so. No.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Never lost.
Holyfield, Rocky Marciano, Mike Tyson, and Muhammad Ali. But yeah, Sugar Ray was a beast.
Yeah. Leroy, in women's basketball in college, you've probably seen this, and I'm almost positive it's a rule in the NBA as well. Late in games, coaches can call a timeout, and during the timeout, they can advance the ball to half court. Is that a good rule or a bad rule?
Say it again. Don't start. Say it again.
So in women's basketball in college, if a coach calls timeout, they can advance the ball from, like, if there's 3 seconds left in the game and the opposing team makes a basket and the other team calls timeout, they can then advance the ball to half court and get the ball at half court instead of having to bring the ball up.
Yep.
That's not a rule in men's college basketball, though. Is that good?
I'm all right with it. And I'll tell you why. Because there's only a limited number of timeouts that they can use that for. And both teams have that advantage that they can do that. So I am all right with that rule being in effect. And quite frankly, I know it's not, but I'm quite frankly all right with the guys having that rule as well. I know I know why. So, like, they're trying to get into the action, right? Like, every rule is supposed to have a reason for why the rule exists. And if you really think about it, they're trying to get into the action, trying to get that ball down to the court on the other side so they can get stuff going. Because let's face it, women's basketball, sometimes the offense takes a little bit to get going. But I'm all right with that rule. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, gosh, I didn't realize. Why, Luke? I'm going to ban you, Logan Paul. Logan Paul. I guess Jake Paul is the boxer or something. I don't. Gosh.
And they are not boxers.
I would like to see Leroy fight the Pauls.
The Falls.
The Pauls. Or Rand. Would you fight Rand Paul like his neighbor?
Yeah, there you go. Well, he is a great wrestler. I'm surprised at how quickly he adapted to WWE, Langdon.
Okay, Leroy, I'm ready.
All right, I asked this question earlier on my social media, but I know you don't go on social media at all, so it's I think I'm all right with my question. Which would you rather have? An action figure, a Funko, or a bobblehead?
I saw your thing. Sarah says she'd fight Rand Paul. We're not getting political. So you said it was an action figure, a bobblehead, or a Funko Pop. I did see this. I've already got too big of a head for a bobblehead or a Funko Pop, so it's probably better to just have myself as an action figure. But then that's kind of weird, so I'd probably go back to a bobblehead and just take it and be like Dwight Schrute.
But if you were an action figure, what equipment would you have if you were an action? Like what would come with the microphone?
The microphone or a headset or something? It'd be the worst action figure that no one would want. It would be really cool. I wish I had it. In fact, I probably should get it out and stick it.
Luke says the stool.
The stool has been freed. It was here. But I should have my Marty Brenneman. It was a microphone.
Yeah.
But it was, and when you press the button on it, it would make sounds. So it was more like a figurine of sorts of a microphone. It would play one of his famous calls. So it was kind of cool. Microphone and the stool that was stuck in the trunk. That freaking stool. Random child. Yes. That poor child.
They're opening their present. They're like, oh my
gosh, what would you want?
Yeah, you know what? I think a bobblehead, just kind of with the bald head and glasses. Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
Scare the small children. We'd both scare the small children.
It'd be so top heavy that it would fall over.
You know, I like to get you going on some food topics, and then we can tell you in the comments whether you're wrong or not. So, Leroy, what is the best chain/fast food pizza place? So this is not your small town place. This is your fast, and I use fast food liberally. I think you know what I'm meaning by that, or chain pizza place.
So I know they've gotten a bad rap over the last few years, and I'm probably going to get heat for this, but I really still like Papa John's. I think Papa John's has great pizza. I like it. My wife is diehard for Pizza Hut. We lost our Pizza Hut here in Taylorville, so every time she goes to Springfield or Decatur, yeah, see, there she is talking about. I told you right there. She's got to get her Pizza Hut. She loves Pizza Hut, but yeah, I'm an old school guy. I like my Papa John's, and that's the one that comes with the pepper on the side, right? They got the little pepper
sauce
that comes with
Papa John's does.
Yeah. That's my go-to. But yeah, I didn't realize we have Dan. Are you like what's his name from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? The pizza snob who is it? Charles? Are you like Charles from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Who's rating the pizza off of taste and. So Little Caesars,
I knew that Langdon. I felt like that is the most Eastern Kentucky answer.
That's the most
Little Caesars,
yeah, you're right. So Little Caesars changed a whole lot. I remember Little Caesars back in the '80s, and I don't know if my dad's still watching, but Dad used to get pizza. It would come in a big bag, and we'd set it on the living room floor, and you'd slide it out from the bag, and it was all like set up like in a row. And it's just one of those things where it was like, I just remember very vividly the pizza that came in the bag that you slid out. No, I'm just saying he's acting like Charles over here, where he's like the pizza snob, man. Let's be real here. You know, is it pizza by Alfredo's or Alfredo's Pizza? Like,
there's a big difference,
right?
See, my issue with Little Caesars, and Langdon brings it up, the hot and ready, is ours is never hot and ready. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you'll go there, and it's always funny that you'll pull up to the window. They'll have, like, it's hot ready. Be like, yeah, can you pull forward? We'll have it out for you in 15. like, well, that defeats the purpose of
not
of
ready,
hot ready.
man.
Like it's and for me, it's Domino's or Papa John's. I'm not a Pizza Hut guy. I don't know. It's just not my. Like, if you give it to me, I'm not gonna be mad. But
yeah, Tyler. But like in episode 3, like Charles was like one of the busts that they did was that Charles was trying to figure out like, and he had a whole like pizza mailing list that he was like off of like texture and like mouth taste. There was like a whole list of like things that Charles had from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
what's your least favorite?
My least favorite? probably Little Caesars.
But am I correct in saying, like, if Tim walked in and said, "Hey, Leroy, I've got a Little Caesars pizza I'm not going to eat," you'd smash it,
I'm
right?
on it. And I will say Casey's breakfast pizza beats everything. Casey's breakfast pizza is by far the most fantastic pizza. Sarah, back me up. Sarah, I need you. Casey's breakfast pizza is divine. And I am drinking Mike's strawberry pineapple.
I've never had the I've see there's a Casey's in Ohio County, which is the county over for me to get there, though. It's about 40-minute drive.
Right.
And I've never
if you have the chance, if you have the opportunity, I strongly recommend getting yourself a slice of breakfast pizza from Casey's.
It's not worth driving 40 minutes one way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I mean it's still pretty divine. It's pretty.
Casey's is a gas station, Paul. Simple enough. It's a nicer gas station. It's not quite Buc-ee's as far as like level of insanity. Have you been to a Buc-ee's? Yes.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
I've not been yet. There's one that's opening just at the Bowling Green here, and I'm sure Luke will tell me the exact opening date. I'm sure he's camped out and waiting. There is a Mellow Mushroom in Bowling Green, about an hour south. Paul. It's not too bad.
Mellow Mushroom. Oh.
Yeah, it's like a Sheetz or a Wawa, Langdon. That's probably a simple
Mellow Mushroom.
Simple thing. Paul, I'm surprised you haven't been to a Buc-ee's. I'm sure they're everywhere down there in Georgia. Buc-ee's. When's Buc-ee's opening in Smiths Grove, Luke? I'm sure he'll be able to tell me, because that'll be the time that I drive, because I haven't cared enough to drive. Like, there's one in Richmond, Kentucky, which is probably about 2 hours away, and I've not cared enough to drive 2 hours to try the Buc-ee's, because I feel like it's a little much. Like, would you go back? Did I blow your mind?
What?
I asked, would you go back to Buc-ee's?
I thought you were talking to the comments still.
No, sorry, I was talking to you. Would you go back to Buc-ee's?
Yeah, I liked it. It was a little overwhelming, but I like it.
Okay. It wasn't necessarily on my topic. Do they have pizza?
I didn't see any when I was there, but that doesn't mean anything. They had like all kinds of other stuff as well.
Oh, you went without your wife?
What do you want from me?
Wow.
I don't go everywhere. I don't go everywhere with her. She's her own woman. Sort of.
Well, see, in Kentucky, and I'm sure they have it for Langdon as well. We have Hunt Brothers, which is in a lot of the gas stations.
Yeah.
Do they have that there too in Illinois?
Yeah.
And I think it's a Kentucky company, and they have
Hunka
Pizza.
I think they sponsored NASCAR for a while. Like, I'm playing NASCAR Heat 4, and I think they're a sponsor that's on NASCAR Heat 4.
At one time, they were the official pizza of Rupp Arena, and I was just there over the weekend and didn't look, so I'm not sure if they might still be, but it would be a Hunka Pizza. Listen, Paul, it might, but it is actually pretty decent.
Speaking of which, I forgot to tell you, the Family Dollar, sponsored by Family Dollars or Family Video sign that was hanging above the scoreboard at UIS came down the week after we talked about it on our post. I don't know if I had any impact on that, but yeah, the sign came down like the following week.
Langdon, you are right. LaRosa's UK football, but I think at Rupp Arena it is Oh, LaRose's is great. You I don't think has ever had that, right, Leroy?
No.
LaRose's, that's Cincinnati pizza. And I still need to get you. At one point, I am going to send you a bag of Grippo's barbecue potato chips, and you're going to try them on the show one day. Because you like barbecue and you've never had them.
I can't
We're going to do it. And I'm sure Langdon's had barbecue Grippo's, and they're delicious as well. Yes, Sarah, what?
Just calling people out now. Oh.
Skyline.
I already know the answer.
Yeah, Langdon's had them. They're the best. They're really good. And you like spicy, right? And you like barbecue.
Yep.
They have Grippo's on campus. Interesting. Yep, there you go. That right there is maybe the most Eastern Kentucky thing Langdon said on this broadcast here. Shout out to Miracle.
Langdon, it's good to have you here, brother. It's good to have you. Hope you're doing all right, man. It's good to have you here, bud.
Yes.
We appreciate you hanging out, and all of you hanging out with us tonight.
Absolutely. Do you have drivers?
I do. Are we ready?
Okay.
Who do you want? Who do you want? 1, 2, or 3?
Let me get it. Again, this is Leroy's drivers segment.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we show Sam a driver, and we just simply ask him, what series does he race in? NASCAR, IndyCar, or F1? And then I'll have my little 40-second F1 clip as well. Hold on. So who do you want? 1, 2, or 3?
A clip?
1, 2, or 3? 1,
3.
2, or 3?
Listen, I don't know how I feel about your tone. Yeah, your logos are really getting hard.
I don't care what you think.
Paul's taking shots now in the comments, and everyone. No one is innocent, Leroy. Or no one is safe. Okay, let me turn the comments off. Well, here, I can just do this and go.
That's right.
Okay, I'm full screen, so I can't see. He's got some weird ears. I will say that, doesn't he? Not that I mean,
the one looks bigger than the other.
Yeah, it's not like they're big.
And you of all people shouldn't talk about ears.
My ears are fine. What's wrong with my ears? You can't even see them right now. My ears are fine. Indy.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. Let me catch up on comments here before you tell me. Okay. Leroy Salty. We just got past Dale's death. Has anyone ever been safe? No, Sarah. No one has ever been safe. Okay. Indy is my guess. You got weird ears. If anything, Daniel... you probably have. Okay, go on. Who is it?
If anything, what?
My little brother's probably got the same ears. It's usually how it works.
Luke said you have weird ears.
Yes. So probably meaning you have weird ears as well. That's usually how it works. Okay. Who is this? Daniel who?
This is Daniel Hemrick, a NASCAR driver.
That is not a real person.
What do you want from me? He finished 10th in the race in Atlanta, I think.
Okay.
Oh, he's 10th in the points. I think what did he race? What did he race? Okay, did he only race Daytona?
Go to 2.
Let's see. Oh, go to 2. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I got distracted here. Hold on. There's 2.
Oh my. It's kind of a dark picture. I gotta turn my brightness up here. Is this guy active?
He is active. He only races the ovals, though.
Well, F1 doesn't race ovals, I don't think. So that gives me 50-50. I'm going to say Indy.
Final answer?
Yep.
Yes, that's Ed Carpenter, who races IndyCar. He's a IndyCar owner, actually. He owns a team and has a couple drivers for him. He's way younger than what he looks. I think he's only I think he's my age. I think he's 41, but he definitely looks way older than. Yeah, he looks way older than what we are.
We.
All right.
Excuse me, I am not 41 years old.
Jesus Christ, yes, I know.
And speaking of, I mean, this guy is the opposite. He's not old enough to drive. I mean, how old is this guy? I mean, it's not going to help me at all.
I will tell you. Hold on. I'll tell you exactly how old he is. Give me 1 second. Let me look.
And then what's his name as well?
Yeah, I'm not giving you his name. I can't do that. But I will tell you he's 22.
Okay, so he is a child.
Sam, you're a child.
NASCAR, but he's probably F1. I'm going to say NASCAR.
Yeah, you would have been right. He is F1. That's Oscar Piastri. He's an F1 driver.
Everyone else got F1 there. Paul says he's the oldest.
One out of three today, Sam. Not your best.
I'll remember that. I'll remember that.
I'm just saying.
I'll remember that.
That's fine.
I'll remember that.
You've gotten me plenty of times there, bucko.
Whatever you say. So I have a proposal for you that I haven't talked to you about.
All right, let's hear it.
But I feel like this is a game meant for you. Because I'm going to be honest, and I hope you agree with this. I've missed our pick contest. I've missed it. I enjoyed, not just because I won, but I actually enjoyed like making the picks and so on and having some fun with that. Okay?
Yeah.
So I have a proposal for you. What if we continue a new game of the pick contest, but we do it only in NASCAR? And each week we pick that driver. We each pick a driver every single week in the NASCAR race, and then we get the points from that driver, whatever they get that week in the NASCAR race.
So whatever points the driver gets in real life, we get those points?
Correct. So meaning if they get 12, you get 12. If they get, is it still 43 or what's the most points? I don't know how many. Whatever the max amount of point is, then that's the amount of points that you get. That is my proposal. We do this until football season starts. So it doesn't run through the rest of NASCAR season because it'll get a little bit confusing. Yeah. So once our first high school game happens, so mid-August, we run it for however many weeks that is, and you can do that.
Can we also do the Indy 500? I don't want to do the other IndyCar races, but can we do the 500?
I guess instead of the NASCAR race that week, we can do the Indy 500.
Okay. Then I'm all
even though I'm giving you a game to win, okay? Because you should have the advantage in doing this. Yes, we're going to start picking the USFL games. We are not.
UFL.
Yeah, you're right.
They've got rid of the yes. UFL is the now they've merged. USFL merged with XFL, and they're now the UFL.
When does that start?
This month. No, March. It's like March 23rd, March 30th.
So is there a NASCAR race this week? There is.
Yeah, Langdon. Remember when you joined the jungle? How awful you were? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
So Leroy, I know who my pick is this week. And since I'm not the racing expert, I'm going to get to go first.
That's fine.
That's fine with you? It is the Pens. And you know what? Should we open it up to the comments if they want to join in? Or do you just want this me versus us? We can
open up to the comments.
I know we have people that listen every single week. I'm fine with that. So it is the Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube at Las Vegas Motor Speedway this weekend. I'm going to pick Kyle Busch. John is picking Joey Logano. Paul, if you'd like to have a pick, you can have a pick. I'm going to pick Kyle Busch. And we can pick the same person, too.
I'm going to pick Kyle Larson.
Okay. There we go. Paul, if you'd like to have a pick, you can drop a pick. If anybody else would like to, I'll put you on the spreadsheet, and we can do that and make it up. So, again, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, John's going with Joey Logano. And we'll see how this goes. Christy obviously does not want to participate. And fine, you don't have to participate.
I like how she was blatantly like just NASCAR sucks.
Paul's taking Bubba Wallace. Tyler is going with you. Luke says none of them. I'm not a fan either, Paul. So
for what it's worth, William Byron won the race last year. For what it's worth, William Byron won the race last year. That don't mean nothing, but maybe it does.
Okay. So we've got our picks in for this week. And perfect. Okay.
Oh, you missed the pick contest, you poor guy.
It is. It was kind of fun. Sarah's going with Bernie Sanders.
There you go, Sarah.
Listen, I wouldn't you love to watch politicians race in a NASCAR race? That would be very entertaining. Did you have anything else that you wanted to drop in on the show today?
Yeah. So F1 races in Bahrain this week. They're for their series opener. Mario Andretti turns 84 today. The NASCAR race last week was amazing. They raced at Atlanta. My driver, Daniel Suarez, won the race, and the three drivers finished in the closest finish that they've ever had for three drivers. I think point 0.024.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, between like the three cars. It was something insane as far as like the difference between like driver 1 and driver 3, to the point that Kyle Busch said, I only needed a few more inches to win, to which his wife said, I've been saying that for years.
Oof. Oof.
Otherwise than that,
Oof.
IndyCar is testing at Sebring. They have their first race in a couple weeks, and yeah, that's the racing news for what's going on.
Cars was a closer finish too, Leroy. Lightning McQueen, Chick Hicks, and the King tied.
That's true.
How bad do you think I'm going to beat Leroy in fantasy baseball? Really, really, really bad? Is that an option? Because Paul, I know you are really good at fantasy baseball.
I don't even know why you're comparing it to me, man. Let's be real here for a second.
I just can't do fantasy. It's too much for fantasy baseball. Like,
I'm usually good until and last year I was good, but like half my players got hurt to the point that I couldn't keep up because I was dealing with injuries all season last year, and I finally just said, screw it, ain't worth it.
Yeah. And see, I know that I'm like the beginning of the year, I'm really busy usually, and then I can keep up with it like June, July, early August, and then sports start up again. So I don't have the time to keep up with it like through September.
I got to set an alarm. I literally set an alarm for all my leagues. That I just at like 9:45. That's when I set all my leagues for the day. Because otherwise, and weekends, I'm almost useless. So like, it's just.
And see, I'm lucky with football. It's easy because you can check it once, maybe twice a week, and I like that because I know that Tuesday mornings I can go on there and do it, and then check it again like Saturday evening or Sunday morning or something.
What, I'm in an IndyCar fantasy league that I've been doing now for the last 3 years, where the winner gets like $1,000, but there's like 110 people that compete in it. And man, you might as well just draw names out of a hat. There's no rhyme or reason as far as like who wins those races. So like it's almost useless. It's super hard.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this NASCAR. So in fact, let's just pull up the NASCAR schedule and see when the last race will be.
Yeah,
so so it would be like the middle of August. We'll just make it up. We'll just say it right now because high school football usually begins like that middle of August. Oh, you know what? We'll just do this, Leroy. In fact, this is a good one to end on. On August 24th, so that'll probably expand a week or so. That's the Coke 400 at Daytona.
Yep.
That's a good one to end.
That'll be our champion. That'll be our championship. Yep.
Correct. Because the week prior is Michigan. And so that'll be, or do we want to end the month prior in late July at the Brickyard?
No, I like the 400.
So here's the question too. So Paul says you're taking the points that NASCAR gives the drivers. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. So do we get screwed if the driver gets docked points?
Oh,
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's fun. That'd be fun in the game because that's part of the risk, right?
Yeah.
Paul agrees. Yes.
Hey, Josh.
And
good
on the
to
Coke
see you,
400.
bud. Hope you're doing all right, man. Good to see you, Josh.
Awesome. Yeah. So there we go. I thought it'd be a fun little game to keep our picks going because I enjoy our picks. And I think it's a good way for us to end every show as well. And then it also gives you the opportunity to talk about racing.
I'm all right with it. Any
other parting thoughts?
No. Just thank you all for watching, and we'll see y'all next week. I feel like we're getting really close to Chicago doing something here. I don't know. Like I said earlier, Atlanta. It really feels like Fields is going to be going to the Falcons here. I'm really intrigued to see what's going on with that. I think we're closer to a decision on that than we realize.
Well, so free agency, the day that players can actually sign in the NFL is 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. So that's when I think you're really going to start to see a lot. Like the Bengals tagged T. Higgins, which was kind of big news late last week. Not really a surprise. But now the question is will they trade? Did I watch Yoshi pitch? Is that the guy from the Dodgers? No, I did not watch him pitch today. I thought you were talking about Yoshi as in the Bengals wide receiver, Andre Yoshivash.
How many people do you think are born on February 29th in the world?
So I had a friend growing up whose dad was born on the 29th. And so it's funny because it was like he was 12 or however 14. Yeah, Yoshi on Mario too as well. Oh, Harambe jokes. There we go. Ha 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 ha. In the world?
In the world.
2 million. 2 million. It's more than that. It's got to be more than that.
It's more than 4 million people. More than about 4 million people are born on February 29th.
Luke's right. If he was born a week earlier, he would have been born on the 29th.
Oh, yeah?
Because his birthday's the 6th. So I guess coming up here. Yeah, I knew just one person whose birthday was tomorrow. So happy Leap Day, right? I actually get to do the district championship tomorrow night on Leap Day. So that means, you know what? Now I need to.
People born on.
I got to figure out my stat. Lady Cougar's record.
There you go.
I got to look up my stat. Lady Cougar's record on Leap Day.
On Leap. And the first leap year was introduced in 46 BC. There you go. Now you learned something new today.
It's a great way for us to end. We'll see you next week, Leroy.
See you, bud. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good night.